J.J. Watt. Pass is caught. Diggs! Side he broke his ankles. Lightning strike from McCaffrey.
We're having fun. We get to have fun here. This is what it's all about.
Yes, I'm aware March Madness is here. Fully aware of that. But so is the NFL, and I'm going to put air quotes like I do every time around this word, offseason. It's been here, but it continues to move forward in the process. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the Swank Tank. It is episode 44 of the Swank Tank. Appreciate you being here. I am your host, Ryan Swankowski. Speaking of the quote, air quotes yet again, offseason, the first thing we're going to talk about today, or tonight's episode, Thursday morning. Again, I record these on Wednesday night, as you all know. It's out Thursday morning. Off-season episodes every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. During the season, we do Monday night and Thursday morning, of course. But that being said, what can we be talking about on this, as you're listening or watching, Thursday morning? We are reviewing how/why the NFL scheduling is so damn elite. There is an event every few weeks. It flows beautifully comparative to other sports, college football. The schedule is it's unbelievable. You put air quotes around offseason because there's truly something to look forward to. There's something to cover. There's something to predict every few weeks from the end of the Super Bowl until freaking July. Like, the NFL has it down to a science. I've had a lot of time to get it down perfectly. It is perfect. It is perfect. So we're going to review kind of that offseason schedule, what makes it so great, why it flows so well. After that, we're diving into a few other big moves around the league that have been made recently. We got Justin Fields being traded. We got Jalen Waddle being traded. We got Andy Dalton being traded. I believe it's the most trades before the draft ever in an NFL offseason. We just had the best season in 2 decades in 2025. Now we have one of the best off seasons, air quotes, in free agent markets, in trades, in actions before the draft being taken potentially ever. Potentially ever. So we're going to go over a lot of those moves. I'll give you my opinions and thoughts on those. Plus, 1 or 2 teams have really done a great job in free agency. We're going to make sure to highlight them. Welcome into the show. If you are not already, make sure you can go and subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, follow on Instagram, TikTok, at The Swank Tank. You can find us on all of those platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Instagram mainly as well. Make sure you can go and follow. Growing surely. Slowly but surely, as usual, especially in this off-season time. We're getting there, bit by bit. Appreciate all of you. Without further ado, and yes, I know it's March Madness, so if you're tapped in right now, you really love your NFL. Because I love March Madness. Who doesn't? And this is coming out Thursday morning. You're probably sitting on the edge of your seat, your bracket. Hopefully it's not busted yet whenever you're watching or listening to this. Maybe it's still alive. Odds are it might already be dead. Mine probably will be. Love some good March Madness. But you love the NFL. You want to follow the NFL. You want to stay involved and in the loop with everything. You're in the right place. In the right place. It's a must-watch every week. Welcome to the show. Without further ado, let's start breaking down this NFL offseason schedule, what makes it so elite, why it works so well, and, comparative to other sports, why it's just so much more elevated, so much more professional, so much more fun to follow than any other, quote, offseason in any other sport. Let's do it. Is anyone else not a big fan of the sun staying out later and rising later in the day? I'm a morning person. I like the sun to be up at 7 a.m. or before. It's rising at like 7:30 now, too late, and it's not going back down to like 8 p.m. Too late. I like it the other way. You're seeing a lot of sunshine behind me. It's nice. It's nice, but I like that sun in the morning. Anyways, let's break down this NFL scheduling, what makes it so elite. Let's go through the flow of why the NFL scheduling is just the best of any major sporting league in the entire world. They've been doing this a long time, a very, very long time. They have their schedule down to a freaking T. And you may know most of it. You may know all of it. We're still going to go through it and why it's so damn good. The season starts at a perfect time. Early September. It's right after summer ends. You're just getting back into school. You need something to look forward to. Summer's over, right? Bink. Here starts the NFL season. It's usually that second weekend of September, around September 9th, September 10th, September 8th. Right around there's the first weekend. The Thursday night football game that kicks off the season, or Wednesday game this year, in that Australia game, that's got to be talked about later down the road. Usually starts around September 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th, somewhere around there. Perfect date for the seasons to start, given the time of year, given summer ending. It's great. Then when the regular season ends, obviously we go through the whole regular season, 17 games. 17 games, hopefully it is not going to move to 18 games. Needs to stay at 17. Think 17 is the perfect number. 18 would be too much, but it's all about the money. Season starts in September. Regular season ends in mid-January, mid to early January, right? And then right when the regular season ends, opponents for next season are released. You may think that's a little premature, but for teams that went 3-14, 6-11, they've been thinking about the next season since November. Maybe even since the start of the previous season, Jets fans. So when the NFL releases the team's opponents the days after the regular season ends, think about it if your team wasn't in the playoffs. You're already looking forward to next year. You see your opponents. You're excited about it. You're excited. So right when your season ends, if you're not in the playoffs, you already are given something to look forward to. It's genius. It's just genius scheduling all around. Season ends. So, right, you get the regular season ends, you get your opponents for next year, go throughout the playoffs, of course, phenomenal, Super Bowl, season's over, right? Just a few weeks later, NFL Combine. I believe this year was literally 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, right? Season ends in mid-February, then comes the NFL Combine in late February. So the NFL is so smart in their scheduling with giving you little nuggets to look forward to, even when the season's over, even when your team's out of the playoffs, even if your team doesn't make the playoffs. It's perfect all around. So you have the Combine in late February. Then free agency opens literally 2 weeks later, if that, in early March, like we just experienced. Early March, free agency opens, signings and trades happen throughout the entire month, right? We have signings and trades we're going to talk about in the later half of this show. And this lasts all the way until April. So March until April, the whole month. It's all about free agency, signings, trades, the whole works. It continues. Like every day there is a signing, every day there's a trade. It's been that way for almost 2 weeks now. Over 2 weeks. It's what it felt like. That goes into April. Then we got top 30 visits in early April. This is where teams with players projected or that are picking in the top 30 picks or can then interview players that are projected to go in the top 30 in the first round, right? It's all about interviewing high-level draft players. That's what the top 30 visits are all about. So teams get a chance, after the Combine, before the draft, to talk with these top players. That's essentially all it is. That happens in early April. Then NFL draft comes around in late April. Everybody knows that one. So March through April, free agency signings, trades, visits with teams, draft in late April, as we all know. Then in May, rookie mini camps, and then the annual spring league meeting in late May with the head coach photos and all that jazz. Everybody loves that photo, right? They're in like Palm Beach, Florida, wherever the hell they are, and they're discussing tush push every year, it feels like. And you got these head coaches who some I'm sure dislike each other, behind the whole, good to see you. Yeah, he's a great coach. There's rivalries to it. I'm sure not all head coaches get along, but for these 2, 3, 4 days, however long it is, I feel like it's always in Florida, unless I'm mistaken. You have the annual meetings, discussing big topics. You get the big photo. Oh, my gosh, look at this guy. He looks like such an idiot. Oh, wow, he looks dope in that shirt. It's completely meaningless. The photo is at least meaningless, but it gives us something to kind of follow and watch. And there are sometimes some interesting topics that come out of those meetings, discussing rule changes, discussing, I'm sure, salary cap for the next year, all that jazz none of us really care about. But the photo is always interesting. It's always fun. There's always somebody that looks dumb. And I'm sure, again, there's beef behind the scenes with some of these coaches. There's got to be. There has to be. So early May, you got rookie minicamp, like a short amount of time. Then you got the annual league meeting in late May with all the head coaches. June, this is where it gets a little bit more dead, but there's still a few things. June, you have the June 1st cut deadline. So that kind of gets incorporated into May as well. The June 1st cut deadline. Cuts made after June 1st allow teams to spread that dead money to hit over 2 seasons instead of just this current season. So, example, Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my gosh, did I just butcher that or what? Tua Tagovailoa got cut I believe, pre-deadline, right? So they have to take on all that dead money this season. Now, there's going to be players that get cut post that deadline, and then that money can be spread out over 2 years. However it works, whatever it is, there's a June 1st deadline for cuts in dead money. June 1st. After that, it's slow. So the rest of June's slow, but then you get into July. July 15th, deadline for teams to sign franchise tag players to multi-year contracts. So take a George Pickens, right, as a great example of this. Take a Breece Hall as a great example of this. They signed their franchise tag, but they still have time to be working on a multi-year deal until that date of July 15th. So you have the June 1st deadline for dead money. It's the cut deadline to decipher that dead cap, whatever it is. Then throughout the rest of June until July 15th, bang. July 15th, you can sign players, your tagged players, to further deals. And maybe this year again, Pickens, Hall, some others, maybe signed longer-term contracts before that deadline. Never know. If no deal is reached, the player must play on the one-year tag. Duh. After July 15th, you go into obviously mid to late July, training camp opens. And here we go. Really, that's when the real league year starts. Again, that really starts in March during free agency or whatnot before the draft. But then in late July, mid to late July, training camp opens. Just 2-3 weeks later, in August, preseason rolls around and football is officially back. Training camps open. Rookies report before veterans. Veterans report. You get the 3 preseason games, and your next season has arrived. It's beautiful. It's picture perfect. Literally, the only real dead time there is June. And you got that post-June 1st cut that you got to kind of follow. Then the rest of June, it's pretty blank. That's it. But if you're telling me I get, 4 weeks of nothing to do with really the NFL, there still will be a few storylines in there from, players that are tagged that maybe could get extended before July 15th. But if you're telling me I'm only going to go 30-ish days, 35, 40 days of the entire year without NFL news, updates, major storylines, sure, I will take that. It damn for sure beats whatever the hell college football is doing over there. Their deadline makes no sense. None of their deadlines make sense. This is not a college football show. This is an NFL only show. But in comparing it to college football just a little bit, college football, as everybody knows, the scheduling is all out of whack. It makes no sense. The transfer portal dates and signing dates that don't even matter, and let's start the playoff here and then let's end it 2 months later. Disaster. When they release their opponents is a disaster. It's just terrible. It's terrible. The NFL has this. I almost got too excited there. The NFL has this down to a science, to a T. And even outside of this literal scheduling, though, they're also planned outside of other major sporting events. Like, let's just use March Madness as we're about to enter it. For example, you have free agency in early March. You have the draft in late April. I mean, this isn't their first time around the block. They know what they're doing. Imagine if you put free agency in the middle of March Madness. There would be not nearly as much excitement, not nearly as much coverage. People wouldn't care as much. I mean, it just feels like, it feels this way because it's true. They're just on top of the 8 ball, and they have been for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time. They're so dominant in their scheduling that people now have to schedule fully around them. College football has to schedule fully around them because the NFL schedule is so consistent. It's so precise. College football has to schedule around them. That's why college football's freaking championship game is on a Monday. Could it be on maybe a Friday or a Thursday? Maybe. It can't be on a Saturday because there's got playoff games going on, NFL. So college football is in a little bit of a predicament. A lot of people talk about college football reaching out to the NFL, trying to pay them money. College football paying the NFL money? I don't think the NFL gives a damn. No, let me rephrase. The NFL does not give a damn about college football scheduling in terms when it comes to their playoff scheduling, their playoff matchups, where they're viewed. NFL doesn't care about you because they have it down, set to a science in the most consistent form and fashion that I don't think really ever needs to be changed. Only thing that can be changed and is up for debate is how many games they're playing in the regular season. and maybe moving the Super Bowl to a 3-day weekend. It's about it. The offseason schedule is perfect. The NFL offseason schedule is perfect. It could not be better. It couldn't be better. It's so damn good, and it has been for a long time, where these other major sporting events have to be placed, and schedules, I should say, have to be placed around the NFL schedule because they're so dominant. And it's just great. Like, it keeps you enthralled, keeps us all enthralled, keeps us things to talk about. Swank Tank, 24/7, 365, NFL only. It's just great. It's great. All right. Enough about scheduling and all that good stuff. Let's now move into and breaking down some other major signings that have happened over the past week and a half. Some big-time trades. I'll give you the updates on them. I'll give you my takes and my breakdowns of these trades, these moves, who's the winner, all that good stuff, all that good jazz. Let's break some of these down, keep you in the loop. Let's do that. By the way, Bills defensive end A.J. Epinesa signing with the Cleveland Browns. There you have it. If you missed that news, that happened on Wednesday evening. But we got bigger trades to discuss, bigger trades, bigger moves, bigger signings to talk about. No disrespect there, but let's be real. Let's kick it off with the big one. Jalen Waddle traded from the Dolphins to the Broncos. The Dolphins get the 30th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, a third rounder this year, and a fourth rounder this year. Again, all in this year's draft. So the 30th overall, a third rounder, and the fourth rounder from Denver. Denver gets Waddle and a fourth round pick in this year's draft as well. Let's talk contracts. So Waddle is now a Denver Bronco. Good move on both sides. We're going to break that more down here in a sec. Let's talk about contract. Let's talk about payment. Waddle this year will be paid $6.8 million from Denver, and then next year will be paid about $24 million in Denver. So looking at that and looking at this entire trade, encapsulating it all, it's a win-win for me. Not a lot of trades for me on this show go as a pure win-win in some form or fashion, like one team lost just a little bit. This is pretty really as close as it gets to me as a win-win. At first, I was a little worried it was too much to give up for Waddle. The 38th overall pick, that could have gone a lot of different ways for Denver. They don't have maybe a pure need. Obviously, wide receiver was one of their, quote, needs. But they could have gone a lot of different routes with that. Maybe traded up, try to get Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. Others, smaller moves that could have been made. So that pick is no longer theirs. They traded away to get Waddle. I was a little worried it was too much. A first, a third, and a fourth. But I see now what they have to pay him this year, essentially nothing. Next year, $24 million. All right, $5 million less than Alec Pierce? Sure, I'll take that. Now, again, you give up your first-round pick and a third and a fourth. You get a fourth back. So, in terms of draft capital, it is the tiniest bit much. But I'll tell you what it also did. It set the A.J. Brown market, didn't it? That's something. This trade definitely had a ripple effect across the league, especially if you are Howie Roseman of the Philadelphia Eagles. You just saw Jalen Waddle go for first and more. Howie Roseman saw this trade and just licked his lips. More about A.J. Brown in a little bit. Denver gets a major star in the wide receiver room. This is something they did need. Again, they didn't have a pure need really anywhere when you look across the roster and across the board at this team before the draft. But wide receiver, again, was definitely a position that could have been upgraded. You have Cortland Sutton, you've got Franklin, you've got Pat Bryant, you got Mims. These are really good pieces. Cortland Sutton, to me, is still a slept-on player in this league. I think he's really, really good. But there was definitely room to upgrade at the wide receiver position and go get a star. Denver has done that. And I think they did it in a really efficient way, especially when you look at the contract, what they do, what they have to pay Waddle and when they have to pay it. So I like that a lot for them. For Miami, I absolutely love this trade. I love it. There's nothing to dislike about this trade for Miami. Yes, they have to pay him. They take on a lot of dead cap for this year. It's the dead cap year in Miami. They got a lot of money they're paying Tua this year. He's gone. They got a good amount of money they're paying Waddle this year. He's gone. The wide receiver room is literally Jalen Tolbert as wide receiver 1 in Miami. Is D. Eskridge still there? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to go look at that depth chart at the moment. But it's absolutely a win of a trade for Miami. Getting a first, third, and fourth, you move on from the money, not fully this year, but next year. It's the absolute sunk cost year for the Miami Dolphins. They know it. We know it. Goodell knows it. Your grandma probably knows it. The Miami Dolphins are fully tanking, as they should. This trade is absolutely a win for them. Win-win on both sides, but a win for the Dolphins. Just throw them all away. They said on Wednesday, which is day of recording, that they're not looking to move Devon Achane. If you can get a first for Devon Achane, maybe a second and a third, whatever it is, you do it. You do it. They're not interested in doing that yet. Maybe they become more interested as they get closer to the draft, try to raise that stock a little bit for them. I don't know. But the Miami Dolphins should be interested in trading Devon Achane. Why not? The fire sale has fully been happening for months now. Why not? What, you think you're going to rebuild in time for him to still be an elite running back? You know the timeline for running backs in this league is like 6 years, tops, to be elite of elite. You think the Miami Dolphins in 3 years are going to be good to go? Playoff contenders? Super Bowl contenders? No. So they're making the right moves. I love this trade for them. They should also consider trading away Devon Achane if it's got the right price tag with it, of course, the right value, the right package in return. So all in all, it's a win-win of a trade. Waddle's been damn good. He's had a few nagging, small nagging injuries, but he's played double-digit games every year of his career. He's had 3 over 1,000-yard receiving seasons in his 5 years. His worst season was in 2024, where he had, I believe, just a little bit over 700 yards. He had 744 yards in 2024. You got your guy in Sutton, who's the main target with great hands and great frame. You get your speedster in the wide receiver room that is just an unreal downfield threat and can be used in the running game. Jet sweeps, Sean Payton's offense. It's more Davis Webb's offense now. New OC over there in Denver. Still Sean Payton's system. He'll be utilizing the jet sweeps a little bit here and there, getting him involved outside of just the passing game. So, to me, it's a win-win. Waddle's never played in the cold in his life. Just keep that in mind just the tiniest bit. Might be a little bit of an adjustment for him. Grew up in Houston, played at Bama, went to Miami. He's been really warm climates and weather his entire career. He's got the offseason. He's got, the camps leading up to preseason. He's got preseason to get acclimated and used to some of that weather and the altitude and whatnot. Just a little nugget to throw in there. Jalen Waddle in the cold. Let's see how we can, adjust to mile high, the altitude and the cold. All in all, a win-win. Denver upgrades the wide receiver room, gets the speedster. Miami, the fire sale has been going on. Great value for a player in Jalen Waddle. It's a win-win. Hollywood Brown. Come on down, Hollywood. Signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. Another Brown landing in Philly. Not A.J. Brown. Well, he's still there. But Hollywood Brown is now a Philadelphia Eagle. 1-year deal, $6.5 million deal. I like it. It's a good move. It's not a major splash, but Jahan Dotson went to the Falcons on an overpay. That was an overpay of a deal. I believe it was 2 years, $14 million, whatever it was. Overpay of a deal. Like Dotson, overpay of a deal. They get the wide receiver 3. They needed it behind, at the moment, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They re-signed Goddard. They signed Hollywood Brown. I like it. Not a major splash, but a signing that was needed as they were in need of a wide receiver 3. Hollywood had just under 600 yards last year, and he had 49 total catches on the season. Something to note about this signing. Isn't it ironic that an hour after the Jalen Waddle trade, the Philadelphia Eagles go and sign a wide receiver 3? Is that not ironic? An hour after, not even an hour after Jalen Waddle was traded, the Eagles go and sign Hollywood Brown. I am by no means saying this is A.J. Brown's replacement. I am not saying that. I'm not even close to saying that. They're not even comparable. But it is a little fishy, is it not? And I can guarantee you this. Howie Roseman saw what Jalen Waddle went for and had the biggest grin across his face. He was smiling from ear to ear after he saw what Waddle was traded for from Miami to Denver. I can guarantee you that. So it's a little interesting that not even an hour after that trade happened, Jalen Waddle to Denver, Hollywood Brown gets signed to the Eagles. It's just a little interesting. I'm not trying to speculate. But I can guarantee you, Howie Roseman now has extreme confidence that he can get a bag. And it's a good thing, a bag for A.J. Brown. If you got Waddle going for a first, third, and fourth, A.J. Brown's going for higher than that. I can guarantee you that. So it is interesting, the timing of these trades. They know the market. Howie Roseman knows the market for A.J. Brown now. It's been set. And it is looking damn good comparatively to the Waddle trade. So let me ask you, and then I'll answer. Does this mean A.J. Brown is gone? Not directly whatsoever. Just because they signed Hollywood Brown does not mean A.J. Brown is gone. No chance. Those are not necessarily correlated. It does mean they know the market for A.J. Brown. They know it. Because they made the signing right after Waddle gets traded. So the Eagles know the market. They sign Brown, they get their wide receiver 3 for the moment, and we move forward. But I will tell you this as well, and then we'll really move forward. Let me go back. I do think A.J. Brown gets traded this offseason. 100%. But the market was just not set. Now let's see talks heat up. Now let's see talks ramp up as we move towards the draft in late April. I would not be shocked if A.J. Brown is traded away from the Eagles before the draft in April. Would not be shocked whatsoever. They know what they can get now. Thank you very much, Jalen Waddle. Thank you very much, Denver. Thank you very much, Miami. Appreciate you guys. Says Howie Roseman. I know what I can get for you now, A.J. Brown. Yeah, it's got to be higher than a first, third, and fourth. I can tell you that. So, in terms of the signing itself of Hollywood, I like it. Not a major splash, but a position of need. A.J. Brown might be saying adios soon. Wouldn't be shocked if it's before the draft. Let's keep it rolling. Justin Fields traded to the Chiefs. So you get Hollywood Brown leaving from the Chiefs. You get Justin Fields being traded to the Chiefs, quarterback from the New York Jets. Chiefs get a 7th round pick, and Justin Fields, the Jets get a 6th round pick. Chiefs are only paying $3 million of Fields' $10 million guarantee in 2026. Guys, this is not a major splash either. I really like this signing. I really like this trade, I should say, for Kansas City. It's not one that's going to nearly jump off the page. It's one you might have, one, not even seen, two, already forgotten about. I like this move for the Kansas City Chiefs. You look at their team last year. Mahomes goes down. You're bringing Gardner Minshew. He's a good backup. He goes down. Can't plan for those things. And then you go with, I believe it was Aludakun at quarterback. He seems like a great guy. Let's be real, though. He is not an NFL starter by any means. I don't care if he's your third string. He's not. Seems like a great guy. Not trying to be harsh. Let's just be real. He's not. Not getting it done for you. So, looking at what the Chiefs had last year at backup, and even looking at Minshew if he was healthy, Fields is a better backup. 100%. And you're only paying him $3 million of the $10 million guaranteed. The Jets take on 7 of that $10 million in 2026. I love this. I love this move for the Kansas City Chiefs because Justin Fields, if needed, could go in and win you a game or two here and there, right? You don't want him to be in the game. You want Mahomes playing the entire season. You want Mahomes to be healthy. We all do. But let's say, Mahomes gets a little dinged up, misses a game or two, concussion, whatever it may be. We don't want that. We don't root for that. But injuries happen. I believe Justin Fields in Andy Reid's system can absolutely go win you a game or two. 100%. Why wouldn't he be able to? You've seen what Fields can do. He's not a starter, but he's a damn good backup. I can assure you he's one of the best backups in the NFL. Top 5. So I like this move from Kansas City because if needed, he can go in and win you a game. And he's not going to win you the game with his downfield presence. He's going to win you the game probably with his mobility and his ability to scramble and get out of sticky situations in the pocket. For 2 or 3 games, you can work with that. And imagine Justin Fields with K9 if needed. Kenneth Walker. For a few games, guys, that running attack would be dangerous. The Chiefs are looking to bolster their offensive lineup just a bit more. I'm sure they may assess that a little bit more in the NFL draft in April. This is a really good signing. It's not one nearly that's a splash. It's not one that you may even have seen. But I like it. And why aren't the goddamn Bengals doing something like this? I come on here week after week after week and complain that the Cincinnati Bengals aren't making the moves they need to prepare fully for the 2026 season. Yes, they re-signed their O-line. Great. Yes, they're assessing the defense. Great. What about the depth at quarterback? You go and get Josh Johnson to play backup? Let's just say Joe Burrow misses 3 games in the 2026 season. Do you trust Josh Johnson to go win one of those 3? It depends on the opponent, but just off the rip, who would you trust more, Fields or Josh Johnson? I can answer that for you. You know the answer. So I wanted the Bengals to go, and they still have the draft, so maybe they do. I wanted the Bengals to go make a move like this. The Chiefs did it. I like it. The Bengals, just open your freaking eyes. Open your eyes, Cincinnati. God bless. Underrated signing from the Chiefs. Not a splash, but a good signing nonetheless. Here's a little bit of a bigger signing. Darnell Mooney signs with the New York Giants. 1 year deal, up to $10 million for the 1 year in 2026. I like this move. It's not a home run, but I like this move. It's a solid move. And let's take a look at the starting 2026 Giants offense when all the players are healthy. Let's assume week 1. Let's just assume for fun. And it may be true that Neighbors is good to go. Scatterbo is good to go. Dart will be obviously good to go. He's got 1,000 concussions already, but he'll be good to go. Let's just say they're all healthy. Let's go down the line here. As it currently stands, this is March 19th, 2026. Here's the starting New York Giants offense as it stands right now when everybody's healthy. Sorry, I had a little cough there. Oh. Offensive line is probably Thomas, Runyon, Schmitz, Kubas. Kubas was more of a backup, might be starter this year, and Ellimanor. Believe I'm pronouncing his name right. That one's a little bit tricky. Ellimanor. You get it. Played a bit for the Ravens and Patriots, I believe. He's been a little bit on a few teams. That's their offensive line. Pretty good. Not great. But you got Thomas on the left side. Good. It's good. It's not great. Led by Thomas, of course. Ricard at fullback. He comes over from the Ravens. The Ravens with Harbaugh, of course, taking a lot of the Ravens guys. The Giants, taking a lot of the Ravens guys with Harbaugh at the helm. Ricard at fullback. Then you got Dart, Scatterbo, Neighbors, Slayton, Mooney, Isaiah Likely, and Theo Johnson. Where would you rank that starting offense in 2026? Assuming they're all healthy, assuming those are the starters. Where would you rank it? The O-line's good, not great. Good, not great. Scatterbo and then Singletary and I think Tyrone Tracy, if I'm not mistaken, still there. Not a great backfield. Wide receivers are Neighbors, elite. Slayton, Mooney, kind of a deep threat. Had a pretty good 2025. Nothing crazy. Tight end, I like Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely together. I think that's a top 10 tight end unit. Dart, obviously did great things in his rookie year. It's a very interesting Giants offense when you bring in not only Darnell Mooney, but Isaiah Likely, Patrick Ricard, how will he be used? The health of these players coming back with Scatterbo and Neighbors. Darius Slayton still being in the mix and used. It's a very interesting Giants offense. It's definitely already better than last year when healthy. Where would you rank them? I am curious. I don't know if I have a full answer for that. Would you put them in the top 12? No. Would you put them in the top 16? Maybe. Maybe like right flat dab in the middle at 16? Maybe. So they got speed. With Neighbors when healthy. And obviously Mooney has got some good speed. They got some speed on the outside especially. It's an interesting crew. Harbaugh coming in year one. Let's see what he can do with that offense. I like the signing of Mooney. It's only $10 million. I like it. He had a good 2025. Great downfield threat for Dart. The Giants offense is going to be very interesting heading into 2026. I can tell you that. Let's wrap up this episode with a team I don't think is, yes, they've been in the media 100% during the offseason. 100% they've been in the media. I don't know if people are talking about them as much as they should be. a team that is really upgraded in free agency, on one side of the ball specifically, it is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers might be winning the offseason. If they're not winning it, they're top 3 because they've made some really, really necessary and needed moves that I think have been really, really good. Let's start with Jalen Phillips, the best defensive player probably in free agency outside of Trey Hendrickson, maybe, up for debate. Phillips signs with the Carolina Panthers 4 years, $120 million. $30 million a year, interpret that as you will. Might be a little bit of an overpay for a guy that hasn't been fully healthy throughout his career, but a star-studded player nonetheless. One of the best defensive ends in the NFL. He's up there, top 5. A major need filled at the end. They don't stop there, though. You bring in Jalen Phillips, you're going to get Devin Lloyd. I thought this was a very underrated signing across the board, not just for the Panthers, not just on defense, across the board of all the free agents. 3-year, $45 million deal for Devin Lloyd in Carolina. $15 million a year? Jacksonville, you didn't want to match $15 million a year? You get what some of these other guys are getting to play. Lloyd plays, a little bit of linebacker, can kind of line up on the edge for you. Coming off his best season, 5 interceptions last year for Jacksonville. Kind of the leader of that secondary unit, if you consider linebackers in the secondary. Outside of the defensive front, a leader, outside of Hines Allen as well, a leader on that team. Jacksonville didn't want to match $15 million a year? Like, am I missing something here? This was an underrated signing, for sure. And again, a position of need for the Carolina Panthers. D-line and linebacker were the 2 main needs before free agency. They've already addressed that. So, like the signing of Phillips, it's a little steep. Love the signing of Devin Lloyd in Carolina. Then they go and get Rasheed Walker, the veteran from Green Bay. 1-year deal up to $10 million. Love it. Love the move as well. Only $10 million for Rasheed? Sure. They've had some offensive line injuries, especially towards the end of the year. Lost one of the best offensive line pieces. Walker comes in. Great signing as well. Then they just signed A.J. Dillon on Wednesday. A.J. Dillon, that backfield now consists of Chuba Hubbard, A.J. Dillon, and then my boy Jonathan Brooks from UT, and then ETN as well. So a very interesting running back room. Rico Dowdle is gone. He's in Pittsburgh now. It's an interesting running back room. It's not elite, but you saw what Chuba Hubbard has been able to do. They extended him just 2 years ago. Jonathan Brooks coming off multiple ACL tears. A.J. Dillon's definitely going to be fighting for the RB2 spot. Might be more of an RB3. And then you got ETN, more of like a kind of speedster-ish, special teams-ish guy. So it's not an elite running back room, but they're filling it with more bodies. And they need bodies, especially if Jonathan Brooks is not able to really go this season. Tough blow for him in that system. For the Panthers as a whole, tough blow with Jonathan Brooks. I believe the 2nd-round pick just 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So they've brought in a lot of pieces. They've also re-signed a lot of their core guys. Nobody that's going to jump off the page, but they've re-signed a lot of their core guys. They brought back Nick Scott, safety for them, and other smaller rotational pieces. So like the re-signing of Scott there. Like the guys they've brought in as well. They're building correctly. Not only are they building correctly, they're building efficiently in terms of spend, in terms of contract. Phillips' contract might be a little steep, just maybe. Outside of that, I think they're spending effectively. I really like what they're doing over there in Carolina. The defense looks good on top of that now as well. Again, assessing some major needs. They could definitely use another secondary piece for sure, along with a playmaker. Offensively, the wide receiver room's got Ted McMillan. You got Bryce Young. Tight ends room's got Sanders and Tremble. They could use another star. I think Jalen Coker is a rising star in Carolina. He went off in that playoff game against the Rams when they ended up falling just short. He's a rising star. Xavier Legette has been okay for them. Maybe not quite as good as the Carolina Panthers want to see him for, I believe, his 2nd-round pick. 1st or 2nd-round pick? Somewhere in there. Just a few years ago. So I think they want more out of Legette, but Coker's a rising star. You got Ted McMillan. You got your quarterback in Bryce Young. Would like to see maybe another star on offense. Maybe a solid, pure wide receiver 2. Maybe another kind of bona fide tight end. That's what I'd like to see. And they definitely need another piece in the secondary. They got Horn back there. They just re-signed Nick Scott. Still have room to improve. Especially when you saw their playoff loss against the Rams. Stafford went ballistic. Puka went ballistic. Adams played well. You get it. The Panthers just still have holes. That's for sure. But I like the moves they've been making a lot. And I love the Devin Lloyd contract. Love it, love it, love it. Love that mood for them. For draft capital, they've got a lot of it. They have a first rounder, second rounder, third rounder, fourth rounder, fifth rounder, sixth rounder. So a lot of great draft capital, pretty standard with another extra fifth round pick thrown in there. If Brooks can somehow emerge this year, Coker can continue to emerge, this team looks much, much, much better already. Heading into 2026. They are one of the winners of the offseason. In my personal opinion, the Carolina Panthers are building efficiently. They're building effectively. They're building towards a much better year in 2026, coming off a tough playoff loss in 2025. Very, very good offseason so far for the Carolina Panthers, with a lot of draft capital to be used as well in late April. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our somewhat brief but pretty in-depth, all things considered, episode 44 of the Swank Tank. If you made it all the way through, as always, appreciate you more than you know. Make sure you go follow on all these socials at the Swank Tank. Good luck to your March Madness bracket. Hopefully you go all the way. We'll be back next Thursday morning, of course. We're not missing a beat here at the Swank Tank. There is no offseason. We're NFL only. 24/7, 365. Content every day on all the socials. Don't want to miss it. Can't miss it. Appreciate you guys staying tapped in all the way through if you made it. We'll be back next week. See you then.